Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, how you doing people? I hope we all did great in this quarantine time. Today we are going to talk about something that is important that happened in our world. This is something that took major attention from many big countries, from many actors, from many public figures and many academicians. We are going to talk about the Arab Spring, the event that changed the whole history, the event that changed the most country in the Middle East. We would like to give you explanation about what happened in Arab Spring, what is the impact of Arab Spring itself. And in explaining that issue, I will ask help from my fellow scholar, Jihan Zafira Bafadal.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Jihan Zafira Bafadal. Several years ago, there was a crucial issue which appeared in Middle East. Protesters trooped to the street across the Arab world in 2011, pushing their leaders to end decades of oppression. The Middle East and North Africa was engulfed in an unprecedented outburst of popular protest and demand for a reform. It began in Tunisia and spread within weeks to Egypt, Yemen, Bahrain, Libya, and Syria. This called as Arab Spring. Today, we're going to talk about what is Arab Spring, why is it called as Arab Spring, and how is the impact that Arab Spring has given to the Middle East, and what are the notable events? In order to genuinely explain this case, I'd like to invite my friend Elang Azka to help me explain this case. First, we begin to what is Arab Spring? The Arab Spring was a series of pro-democracy uprisings that enveloped several largely Muslim countries, including Tunisia, Morocco, Syria, Libya, Egypt, and Bahrain. The event in these nations generally began in the spring of 2011, which led to the name. However, the political and social impact of these popular uprisings remains significant today, years after many of them ended. Why is the name Arab Spring? The name of Arab Spring is a reference to the revolutions of 1848, also known as People's Springs, when political upheavals swept Europe. Ever since, spring has been used to describe movements toward democracy like Czechoslovakia's 1969 Prague Spring. Western media began popularizing the term Arab Spring in 2011. Now, we'll talk about the chronology. The Arab Spring began in December 2010 when Tunisian street vendor Mohamed Bouazizi set himself on fire to protest the arbitrary seizing of his vegetable stand by police over failure to obtain a permit. Furthermore, Bouaziz's sacrificial act served as a catalyst for the so-called Jasmine Revolution in Tunisia. The importance of external factors versus internal factors to the protest, spread, and success is contested. Social media is one way governments try to inhibit protest. In many countries, governments shut down certain sites or blocked internet service entirely, especially in the times preceding a major rally. Numerous factors led to the protests, including issues such as monarchy, human rights violations, political corruptions, economic decline, unemployment, and extreme poverty. Other analysts blamed the rise in food prices and commodity traders and the conversions of crops through ethanol. Yet, others have claimed that the context of high rates of unemployment and corrupt political regimes led to the dissent movements within the region. In the wake of Arab Spring protests, a considerable amount of attention has been focused on the role of social media and digital technologies in allowing citizens within areas affected by the Arab uprisings as a means for collective activism to circumvent state-operated media channels. The influence of social media and political activism during the Arab Spring has, however, been much debated. Protests took place both in states with a very high level of internet usage, such as Bahrain, with 88% of its population online in 2011, and states with some of the lowest internet penetration. In Yemen and Libya, as of 5th of April 2011, the number of Facebook users in the Arab world surpassed 27.7 million people. Some critics have argued that digital technologies and other forms of communication, in a sense, videos, cellular phones, blogs, photos, emails, and text messages have brought about the concept of a digital democracy in parts of North Africa affected by the uprisings.
There are several events during the Arab Spring that have a big influence toward the global community. The first one is the Jasmine Revolution, a popular uprising in Indonesia that protested against the corruption, poverty, political repression, and forced President Zine al-Abidin Ben Ali to step down in January 2011. The success of the uprising, which have came to be known in the media as the Jasmine Revolution, inspired a wave of similar protests throughout the Middle East and North Africa. The second one is the Libyan Revolt. In early 2011, amid a wave of popular protests in countries throughout the Middle East and North Africa, largely peaceful demonstrations against entrenched regimes brought quick transfer of power in Egypt and Tunisia. In Libya, however, an uprising against the four-decade rule of Muammar Gaddafi led to a civil war and international military intervention. The third one is the Syrian Civil War. In March 2011, Syria's government, led by the President Bashar al-Assad, faced an unprecedented challenge to its authority when pro-democracy protests erupted throughout the country. Protesters demanded an end to the authoritarian practice of Assad regime in place since Assad's father, Hafiz al-Assad, became the president in 1971. The Syrian government used violence to suppress demonstration, making extensive use of police, military and paramilitary forces. Opposition militias began to form in 2011 and by 2012 the conflict had expanded into full-fledged civil war. The fourth one is the Egypt Uprising. Beginning in December 2010, unprecedented mass demonstration against poverty, corruption and political repression broke out in several Arab countries, challenging the authorities of some of the most entrenched regimes in Middle East and North Africa. Such was the case in Egypt, where in 2011 a popular uprising forced one of the region's long-serving and most influential leaders, President Hosni Mubarak, from power. Arab Spring is a new wave of freedom that's seen as a wind to bring change within the country. The development of freedom and technology held major contribution in this revolution within the Arab land. Freedom and democracy now seen as a must and right for one and each member of country that is worth dying for. The event that shook the Arab land also took attention of another great country that seeks for further power and influence. Arab Spring is an example of how people's opinion could be driven to bring small-scale change into mass revolution. A good use of technology of information could lead to a system-changing situation.